Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the Hanwei Antiqued Mourtary Hilt Sword. This is a really interesting one from Hanwei. Take a look at some specs, up close looks, and a little bit of movement with the sword. Okay, first impressions on this one is, first and foremost, this one has an antiqued finish and it's done really well. I've read some of the other reviews on cultofathena.com for people who bought this sword who they collect antique swords, and they've said this is wildly accurate. So this sword is a 17th century English Civil War design. It would have been an officer's or a dragoon's saber, so something that would be on horseback. There's no curve to it at all. And then you're going to notice it looks like the blade is really beat up, and that's intentional for it to be an antique finish. So the antique finish is there, and the cool thing about the antique finish too is not only is it really accurate and gives that distinct look to make it look like an actual sword from the 17th century that's been worn and torn from, you know, just existing as a carbon steel blade. It also acts as a way for it to actually keep it from corroding even in this time period. So really neat. The guard is reminiscent of what you would see on a Scottish basket hilt broadsword, or a basket hilt backsword even, where you have the hand enclosed, but there's obviously just no fabric, and there's nothing around. Normally there's a little bit more of a guard around here, but it's pretty much the same thing. I think all blade cultures take different things from each other, and it just comes down to the same conclusions anyway. So I just found that to be really neat. A lot of hand protection on this one. Holding the thrust out feels solid. You're going to see that in the up close looks. If you're cutting with it, it's a straight sword, so you do have to throw it a little bit more from the wrist at times, if you even care about that. Something to mention on this as well is that this one is coming slightly sharp. So this is not going to be something to cut test with immediately. Could you sharpen it? Sure. I'm sure Kult of Athena could get it sharpened for you. You got to talk to customer service about that. But for this one being an antiqued one, kept it slightly sharp. You know, a couple people who have reviewed this as well have put an edge on it themselves. That's something you want to do. We can do it, or you can do it yourself as more of like a project sword. Another thing to mention is the wood cord leather wrap scabbard. The stitching is really cool on the back of it. This has a patina on it on the leather, and the patina is also on the handle as well, which I will get some up close looks. The guard as well is embellished. It's got some really beautiful designs on it. You may be able to see it right there. I'm gonna make sure I get it more in the sunlight, that way you can really catch how well they've done with this one. And then putting it back into the scabbard itself. It's a little tight, but it still works just fine. Let's do some up close looks at this one in the scabbard and out of the scabbard. Okay, talking about cut, thrust, and guard. I'm going to go through all three of those so you can see how this one moves. I've noticed that this one is more of a project piece, and it's more of a piece of history for those who are looking to purchase it, but I'll move around with it a little bit into the guard positions, into cut, so you can see this sword as close to three-dimensional as possible, just for your own interest, and also might be something you want to pick up. Let's take a look. Hey, thanks for joining me for the Hanwei Antiqued Mourtary Hilt Sword. This one's available at cultofathena.com if you want to get this one for a project piece, something that you want to sharpen and maybe even modify a little bit for your own projects. That would be a cool thing to add to your collection. And it's symbolizing a piece of history as well. To see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to click the bell at the bottom of the screen. That way you get alerted when new reviews are coming on the channel. I'm your host Tom for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next review.